walking at Hakakwan the other day with Thousand Regis, like maybe a year ago, doing Pokemon Go, and we turned the corner, and these two ladies were having a conversation. I don't know why or how they got to this point, or what the conversation was about, but it was like, oh yeah, she can't have ibuprofen, but she can lactate. People in Virginia are weird.
Facts.
That is true, man.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Struggle Session Podcast. I am your host, Otaku, and as always, I have
K1.
YV squared.
and our special guest,
Sir Ralphie.
and Otaku. Today's topic for the podcast is we're just going back as usual down memory lane, and we're gonna talk about our very first games for our consoles that we played on console. Different consoles and the different genre, like the first game we played in genre, so like maybe a dancing or action or RPG. I will kick things off. In like a previous podcast, I said that my first console was, I believe, the PlayStation 2, and the first game I played was the Tom and Jerry fighting game. But I'm gonna jump into a little bit into the past by days, and PS5 just came out, and the very first game I played was Spider-Man Miles Morales. Hell to the yes. It is a great game, very short game. I already beat it for the PlayStation 4. PlayStation 5, I just got past like a couple of missions. That's about it, but PS5, good so far.
Okay, so I'll go off that and go way back to, I'll say, arcade cabinets. Now, the first video game I ever played was on an arcade cabinet back in Alaska in a classical pizza arcade, and that was the original Pac-Man. And ever since then, I was like 3, and my dad would help me with the joystick and the buttons, but overall, that's what literally started me. And then my first console, which was an NES, of course, like most people, Super Mario Brothers. And I've been hooked ever since.
So, Sir Ralphie, that it is your first time being on a podcast of ours. We're going to hit the floor with you. What was your first console?
Man, my first console, man, when I was a little kid, dog, my first console was the Game Boy Advance. My brothers back in, I think around 2002 or something, 2004 maybe, they brought the Game Boy. I think my father brought that, and my first game in that console was Super Mario Advance. And when I played the game, I'm like, whoa, yo, like this game is amazing. Even though I died so many times and get like a game over and shit like that, it's like one of the amazing games that I've ever played. And ever since then, I've been attracted to the Mario franchise, man.
So, there's not much of a debate over handheld and console. Handheld is a different genre of a console. But what was your big console? Not your handheld console, but
my big
console.
My big console, easily the PlayStation 2, man.
PlayStation 2, what was the first thing you played on that, man?
Oh, man. I remember when I played, I think it was GTA 3. I was just going around and killing everybody because I don't know shit.
I mean, just like everyone else.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck I was doing. I'm like, pew, 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 get down, motherfucker, pew.
And then dies 5 seconds later from the cops.
And then it's either I get wasted or I get busted by the cops, man. I'm like, oh,
You're not a very good killer.
Yeah. Let's just say that, man.
Yeah.
But also, some of the first games I played, I had Crash Twinsanity when I was a little kid, man. Like, I loved the game so much because of the storyline.
That he cosplayed as him.
And it
Was that true? Did you cosplay as Crash Bandicoot?
No.
Okay, damn.
But, I know it followed, the other Crash game. I think it was the Wrath of Cortex.
Mm-hmm.
It followed that game, and the storyline was just so beautiful. Like, you go to another dimension of the game, and you're like, yo! Like, Like, I remember when I was playing, I saw Evil Crash, which is Crash's twin brother, chasing Cortex, and it was funny. It was really fun because that dude, he was like, choo choo choo, where you going? Boom, 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 boom. Hey, Cortex, he couldn't stop running, and so I think in the final game, in the final mission, the final boss, you had to defeat the evil twins. And so you had to play Nina, which I love because you get to, like, all that in the school roof buildings and all. And then you get to play as Mecha Bandicoot. I was like, yo! How come I build him up like a Super Saiyan, like, and then he sneezes, achoo! And then it's like that green ball he fired out, and you had to fire it so many times until like whatever the evil twins was wearing, they got destroyed.
So bouncing off of that, I was now him talking about Crash Bandicoot popped a thing in this is on a different note on our topic, but in Internet Box Podcast, one of like my favorite podcasts, they haven't done an episode in forever because they stopped doing it. They won 3 awards for doing it. The 3 same awards consecutively, which was hilarious. But I think one of the questions the fans asked them was what same-sex video game character would you have sex with? And one of them was like Crash Bandicoot. And they're like, think of him doing the spin move in your butt.
Oh
no! So after that disturbing image,
White Square.
White Square.
On an arcade machine, although it had been like just so long, like since I've even played one. But if I count like, ports of a game from arcade machines, it had been easily been like any one of those Atari games, ranging from Asteroids to Tempest. Like the first third of my childhood is essentially like just playing ports of arcade games with a few exceptions, such as the smash hit of Crash Bandicoot, Spyro the Dragon, Wolfenstein stuff. But if I were to say like the first game specifically for a system, like on the PC, it would be Commander Team, not counting any of the ports.
Okay. Arcade-wise for me was Dance Revolution.
Yes.
Don't forget which one. I think it was DDR Extreme. It was the first one I've done. Sir Ralph,
Yeah.
what was your first arcade game? Like you had to pay a quarter for or $1?
Man, if I had $0.25, I would easily play Tempest, man. In fact, it
Was that your very first time playing an arcade? Or was because you just now said this, if I had $0.25, that's the game I would play. But we're asking you, what was your first arcade?
Yeah, my first arcade was Tempest. It was Tempest. And the concept of the game was just amazing because you gotta kill enemies in a circle, and the next level after you beat the level, it's like it goes back, and then you're in the second level, and then you gotta avoid one of those green things so that you don't get shot at. So you go around in a circle, all that, and that game, man, I was, it's amazing, though.
Alright, so now we're gonna just talk about the genres.
Yeah.
Like the first game genre. And so first person shooter game, what was it? K1.
Okay, so my first person shooter, and this can count light guns as well, right?
Huh?
Light gun. Because this can count.
Yeah, first person shooter like
Okay.
Call of Duty, Battlefield, etc.
Okay, so based off that, I'm gonna say was Medal of Honor for the GameCube. It was the original Medal of Honor, I think 1942, like you start off the game like in Pearl Harbor, and the whole bombing incident happens, and then you have to go through World War II. But I will say that is my first major first-person shooter, which I do love. Medal of Honor, and I really hope it does get a reboot someday because it was a very good game series.
Alright, what was your first person shooter?
My first person shooter was Wolfenstein 3D. Basically, the goal of the game is you're trying to escape Castle Wolfenstein.
Yep.
And there was 6 episodes to this, and I played all 6 episodes. But basically, BJ Blazkowicz is one bad motherfucker, man. Like when you get the machine gun, the chain gun they call it. You would feel like virtually unstoppable. And because of that, there was obviously multiple mods for the game, but I just loved the original game because of its aura, man.
Okay.
Okay, that's it.
What square?
Also Wolfenstein 3D. And this was years before I even heard of Doom. Now as you mentioned that I had probably never played more than a few minutes at a time of Doom. But yeah, it was Wolfenstein 3D, and at the time when we had it, we only had the first episode. It was shareware. And after during the Windows XP era and stuff, like when emulators became like a common thing, that's when also I found I guess not the key or a hack or keygen or whatever, but just the full version, like somewhere online. And I downloaded that and played it. I know I played or beaten at least the first 3 episodes, but not the next 3. But yeah, there's that.
I believe my first person shooter was, Call of Duty War of Worlds, I believe. I think my cousin had it, and I just grabbed it and played it, and I enjoyed it. I had a good time. Next genre. Y Square, give us a genre.
Third-person shooter is.
Oh. Not counting GTA. GTA is. I wouldn't count that as a third-person shooter because it mainly doesn't focus much on the shooting. I mean, you can, but I would give it Gears of War.
I would go back to the Sega and say Fantasy Zone. It was literally a spread screen, and you were shooting down aliens from all sides, and it had one of the best soundtracks. So I'll go with Fantasy Zone.
Man.
Okay. Caitlin, give us a genre.
Okay, fighting games.
Oh
What you got, Sir
man!
Ralph?
I got Mortal Kombat 3. I remember when I was in Rhode Island, and my cousin on my dad's side played Mortal Kombat 3, and we was just like, pew 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 pew. I don't know if I win some of the fights there, but man, it was fun. I remember Y Squared, he was beating my cousin, but my cousin, he came back and shit, boom, 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 all that, but
Sir Ralphie, let me bounce off of that.
yeah.
That is untrue, actually. I've actually never played Mortal Kombat 3.
For real?
I have, however, played Mortal Kombat 4.
Oh.
And a bit of Shaolin Monks and a bit of X.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot. Y Squared. Wasn't it, Marvel vs. Capcom?
My first fighting game?
Yeah.
No, far from it.
What is your first fight?
Yeah, what?
Something in my memory tells me that it's actually Killer Instinct.
Okay.
Because what I remember particularly about it is when the combo builds up. But I guess that's just my mark as to knowing which fighting game I was playing. And at the time I wasn't even allowed to touch the console that it had been running on. But I was let it sneak in. It was in a basement. That basement in my cousin's house had it was usually as more of a storage room, but I had played a bit of Killer Instinct for like a couple hours at a time. It was pretty good.
Question: Did you play Marvel vs. Capcom 3?
Yes.
Yes,
That was probably the game you described.
Yes.
I don't know how you confuse NBC with Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, but yeah, that yeah, that was the thing.
Mhm.
That was the game.
Mine was Mortal Kombat.
Just the
cousin had it. I played it with blood off. Parents were very parents were very adamant about it. That the only way I could play it was with blood off, and I was a kid, so.
Okay, like I'll jump off that before giving mine because sadly, when I got Mortal Kombat 3 Ultimate for Christmas, my mother literally made
Bless her heart.
yes, bless her heart, made us take it back to the store, and I had to get Earthworm Jim too because she thought it was too violent for us. So sadly, that hurt as a kid because we literally had Mortal Kombat 3.
Wait, who presented it for you?
I think it was my dad. My dad was literally super cool with whatever we played, but my mom, God rest her good living soul, but just honestly couldn't think of us growing up and actually playing violent video games. So that's the thing.
But what was your true first?
My true first, just like many, Street Fighter 2. I won't lie, as soon as Super Nintendo came out, Street Fighter 2 was in every store. Sears, Kmart, Toys R Us, like every store that had those old demo playing stations for the Super Nintendo. Always big screen, always Street Fighter 2, and literally that would be the only thing that my parents would do. Just drop us off there, don't move, wait till we come back shopping, just play this. And I would tell you, that's the time when you don't care how long your parents take in the store, and you're just one thing, and then just simple enough. They would get to the register, time to go. And just like most people, Street Fighter 2, always be the first.
Alright, Ralph,
Yeah.
give us a genre.
Adventure.
Ooh, adventure game. We'll start it off with Vice Square. First adventure game.
This was a toughie.
Because everything's an adventure game.
Yep. Yeah, because there's like a sort of like a blur between what makes an adventure now. Because like, many adventure games are also platformers.
True.
And if that's the case, if we're talking about like adventure games that like are separated just level by level rather than an open world, I would say it would be Spyro the Dragon. I give it to Crash Bandicoot, but it's much more of an action platformer than an adventure. I mean, like it's arguable.
Yeah.
I hold both franchises to a very high regard. It's they hold a special place in my heart. But the original Spyro the Dragon would be my first adventure game.
Okay, I want to clarify about my first-person shooter game. It was GoldenEye on the N64. I just remembered because my first adventure game was Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. Because I would go over to my neighbor's place and play it, and that's where I first played it.
And I'm just going to have to bounce. That is also my first because my cousin had an N64 and he had Super Mario 64. And let's call it, once Mario had the flying, since we hadn't seen it since Mario 3, like once you had the cannon and the winged hat, that was what me and my brother would do. We would just literally, we wouldn't even beat the missions. We would just fly in the sky the whole time. That would be literally all we do.
That was the game that they had at Cartoon Cuts.
Yes.
Back in the day, and that was the only reason why I wanted to go to Cartoon Cuts to get my haircut, because I would have to get my haircut across the street. But I was like, no, I want Cartoon Cuts just solely because of the N64 and I could play it there.
They actually had it in the McDonald's one time.
Yeah, McDonald's used to have the N64
Right.
for kids to play. Yeah,
Right.
I know.
So
Back in the day. So Ralph, what was your first adventure
It
game?
also has to be Spyro the Dragon because it came out for the PS2, and I remember playing it, but I didn't beat the game because I was just free playing. But it was like a really cool adventure game, man. Like you go around, collect all the gold, and killing enemies in the process. And in fact, he made an appearance in Crash with Sandy when you advance to get to the evil twins. I was like, oh, they had a crossover.
You know what I'm surprised?
I love the cameo appearance.
Oh
Yeah.
man.
Do you know what I'm very surprised?
What's it?
That Crash and Spyro was not in PlayStation All Stars Battle Royale.
They tried to get them, but they wouldn't for some reason. Some was rights with
Activision.
it was Activision with the rights, and then just putting this in there. Spyro was on PS1.
Oh, I'd like to clarify for the viewers. Sir Ralphie's first Spyro game and my first Spyro game were two different games. I played the OG. He played one of the ones on the PS2.
Yeah.
That I've also played.
Okay. Just also another clarify that Sir Ralphie is actually Y Square's brother, younger brother. Just to throw that out
I've
there.
never met him in my life.
Brother.
So
I'm just
the genre I'm going with, your first demo game.
Yes.
First demo.
Okay.
We're gonna hit it out with K1.
All right. So it definitely has to be just as the Super Nintendo released Donkey Kong Country, and you know those old Super Nintendo like button pad they had in like Toys R Us where you press it and it would show a badass video about the game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it was on that in the Toys R Us, and the first one was Donkey Kong Country, and I watched the video and I was like, oh man, I gotta play this. And I remember thoroughly that there was 5 levels in the first level, so the full jungle level. And, as soon as I got through the 5th level, and it just goes, pick up Donkey Kong Country today for Super Nintendo, I was like, Mom, I know what I want for Christmas. Like, as soon as that was literally the first thing when I got my Super Nintendo, Donkey Kong Country.
So Ralph,
my first demo game, I have to go with Windbreak, man. That was so OG. Because all you have to do is literally break blocks and shit like that. And basically, it was one of these games where I just want that so badly. But that was a great demo game.
I want to interrupt. My demo, does shareware or freeware count?
does it say demo version?
If it says demo, then it's demo.
If it says demo, it's a demo.
Clearly, it's not the full version.
Not a full version. You can also
Okay.
count the stuff
Then
if you went to like Walmart and all that stuff.
Okay, then also shareware games also count. Okay. Also, I want to clarify. Sir Ralphie, this first game is basically just Breakout with a million enhancements in it.
Gotcha.
Port it to Windows.
Yeah.
But what was your first demo Y Square?
The funny thing is that like a bunch of those had occurred like in I guess in a relatively short time span. I'd have to say like the first that I played was on the PS1. It was a disc simply called Interactive 6. And it was just a showcase of demos.
Oh yeah, one of
including
those bad
Crash
boys.
Bandicoot 2, Cool Borders.
I remember those.
I think Gex was there.
Yes.
Let me see. Hot Shots Golf.
So one of mine, which I don't know which version of it, I don't even know how the fuck I got it, but I have it, was Jack and Dexter for the PlayStation 2. I don't know which Jack and Dexter, but that was my first demo because it said demo on the disc. So I don't know how I acquired this Jack and Dexter demo disc. Don't know how, and I was like, alright, cool. And I kept playing it, and I was still young, and I was just like, why do I keep going back to the same spot and beating it over and over again? What kind of game is this? So I thought it was a real game. I want to hit up with the next genre, and I want this is a very good one that I just thought of, and it is your very first worst game you've ever played. The first worst game you have ever played. That you played it fully, but you hated it. Like that type of worst that you had to finish it, and like you hate it.
Okay. Yeah, all right. So this goes back to middle school, and like most kids, the only way. So I didn't get an allowance, so the only way to get video games was to get a good report card. So, of course, getting a good report card meant one game at a certain price. So back when I was a kid, I made the dumbass decision. Instead of getting Scooby Doo and the Cyber Chase for PS1, I decided to get this Tiny Toons time travel adventure. And I thought it would actually be like the old Tiny Toons for Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis, like Buster's Bash and Buster's Big Adventure, and it'd just be a platformer. Turns out it was a fucking puzzle game in which you have to help Plucky Duck build a time machine to go back so he does his homework before his thing. And the thing that I thought was, okay, once we build the time machine, you know, we go back in time and then all the platforming starts. So literally, it's like just going through university, picking up and like trading off all these items to get certain items for the thing. And then literally, so I helped build the time machine, and of course, with the cartoon style that it is, it blows up, and then Buster Bunny says, "Well, here's the thing: do your homework, kids," and then it ends. I was like, "Wait, what? What?" I literally thought it was going to be a time travel game, and it turned out to be a fucking puzzle game, and then that was the ending. I was so pissed off at myself, and to this day, I never forget myself that I could have literally got Scooby Doo in the Cyber Chase.
Have you ever gotten Scooby Doo in the Cyber Chase?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. That was a game later, but like I will never forgive myself for picking that up. But that was the worst game I ever played.
Oh man, one of the worst game I ever played was a game called Box Life. It was for the
And just be in a box.
Bro, you just literally making a fucking box using different shapes. I swear to God, I don't know what Nintendo was fucking smoking, dog. I swear to you. I swear to God, man.
Well, let me interrupt. Number one, I'm mildly offended by this. Number two,
was that your favorite game?
No.
I was about to say.
Number two, that was an indie game. Nintendo saying it was just to allow it in eShop. That was it.
Yeah, but still, bro, you just making a box with different shapes.
Just say you suck at box life and go on.
No, dog.
Just say you hate moving. God. Shit, dude. I get it. You don't want to move. I understand you move like twice from like Rhode Island to here. Fuck, dude.
Sir Ralphie has actually never lived in Rhode Island.
Nah, man. I've been living in Virginia my whole entire life.
Literally his whole life. I don't think he's ever even...
I get it. You don't like moving because you're stuck here. I get it. I can bounce back.
Okay. Y Square, what's yours?
What's yours?
I am actually hard pressed to find an answer, but like
You can give me multiple, but multiple of two. One or the other.
Okay. No, it's because like there wasn't like any that I particularly like overly hated that much, but man, I'm still thinking through this right now. So like, was there that one that I really hated? If there is one, if I remember, it was probably part of a pack, a much larger pack of games that you probably get at a thrift shop for I don't know for $5.99.
Okay. Superman 64. Holy fuck.
Mm.
Shit was garbage.
Oh wait, did having to finish it count?
People finished it.
Yeah, right?
Okay, because
This is also the reason why I also hated Harry Potter 1 for the PlayStation 1. When I was in the Philippines, look that up in the previous podcast, it says Philippines or Filipino or something like that. Because there was a part in that game that made me hate it, and it was just like Superman 64. You get your broom, you have to go through the fucking hole, the fucking rings every single goddamn time. And it was non-stop, and I was like, fuck it, reset. And I kept going until I get to that part. But Superman 64, I hate it. Fucking hate it.
I just remember we bounced off of you on that. I don't remember the name of this game, but it says sort of like a puzzle platformer.
Portal.
It predates Portal by at least a decade.
Portal 2.
I was only like I was only just a small kid when I played it. What I remember is that sometimes like you would eat a brick and then spit it out to create a platform or to create
Minecraft.
stairs. That's my favorite.
Well, bouncing on what just Ralphie just said, that Minecraft was his favorite. What is your, out of all the genres, what is your favorite genre and what is that game?
Okay, my favorite genre ever, excluding Minecraft, my favorite genre has to be an action, and the game is GTA San Andreas. It's not just because of the memes and all, but it's just because of the storyline and how it unfolds, man.
I also felt like you was trying not to enter that race part, but like.
But I mean, it plays off like the real
It's
life.
based off my life and I love it.
But on some real serious shit, it played based off the real life events of '92. I ain't gonna go into there because everybody knows it by now. I know, but the thing is, it's crazy because you start at Los Santos and then Crash of Tenpenny and his little ass officers, drop you off in the middle of nowhere, and then this is where you begin to build your business. You get a garage, you make business partners, and then after that, you go back home, and then you just clean up everything you made a mess of. So, like, I literally just finished playing that game like 3 days ago, and I won't ever forget the storyline. So
Next year he's gonna forget the storyline.
I'll take that bet.
nope.
So
$100.
okay, so my favorite is definitely action and adventure, and it is right now a three-way tie between the God of War series, the Spider-Man series, and then reaching like back. I'm thinking this is thing. I don't know if it's like on platformer slash thing slash action adventure because it does have a few collectibles. Mafia series, and the reason is I just love how the story and the characters keep you enticed. Like, if we look down the whole line of God of War, we have grown up with Kratos, we've seen him be nothing but a vengeance hungry monster, then turns to a compassionate, hey, I learned from my mistakes, and I don't want to do those mistakes again in the newest God of War.
You hear me, boy?
Yeah. Hey, simple enough. You making sure, boy, don't fuck up, boy. But then, like, as you see that,
Keep going, boy.
but as you see that as action adventure, you see that Kratos has matured throughout this whole thing, and that's what keeps us coming back. And I can't wait for that, so I want to definitely see where it goes in the next one coming in PS5.
I think like mine would be like some sort of a mix between like action and puzzle, like maybe a little bit of shooter. Like
I get it, Tetris.
I don't really like bind myself to a single genre, even though it looks like I do.
I get it, Tetris.
Make puzzles.
Yeah, so Tetris?
Tetris.
Oh yeah, Tetris. The Grandmaster.
Cheers.
Alright, so mine is on a toss-up of adventure RPG. So, Spider-Man, fucking love Spider-Man, love the games. All of them. Including, like, Spider-Man 2, based off the Spider-Man 2 movie. Was my favorite one. Like, jumping off the Empire State Building and then crushing your legs is the best. And then the added portion of it where you have to face Mysterio. I had my brother go, I need like drinks. Bring me like the Coke. So this is gonna be a long battle because his bar just kept going and going and going and going and going. And I go, this is gonna be a while. Pause it. I need drinks. It's gonna take me a while. Turns out, my brother got me all the drinks. One punch. That was it. I was like, fuck. Well, thank you for the drinks. But my other favorite is the Kingdom Hearts series. Because since the first game came out and I just played every single one, loving each one, timeline, let's not get into that detail. But it's there. It's Kingdom Hearts 3 could have been a little bit better, but we got Kingdom Hearts 3, and now we have to wait for Kingdom Hearts 4, and now I gotta go play this stupid rhythm game. Whenever it's like $20, I'll play it.
Left Friday.
Probably. But on that note, guys, that is it for the podcast. Thank you, Sir Ralphie, for coming in for the podcast. Got any last words real quick?
Well, I don't got any last words. I just hope y'all just enjoy the podcast and just relax, man, with us. While smoking a blunt too. And don't let the police get you on that. Technically, I think. I don't know.
Depends on your state.
Yeah.
Alright. I'm Otaku. As always, guys, keep moving forward. Bonus thing. I'll be streaming. I usually stream. Look at twitch.com/HoloOtaku. Otaku with a 0. And yeah, guys, tune in for that stream. I'll be playing actually, all I play is Fall Guy on it. So, I also have Y Square and K1 with me on that. So, take a look at my stream. And as always, guys, keep moving forward. I'll see you guys in the next podcast.
And start wearing your damn mask, or else enjoy these close down orders.
Yeah, what he said.
I welcome that.
Good night!